Hello, my name is Frank Castillo, and I'm excited to be teaching about marketing and technology in the modern age at this year's event. So in this session, I'll be teaching about a few different things. We'll talk a little bit about social media, websites, and branding, in particular branding to start with, where we find that branding years ago revolved around a particular entity or a particular company, but many times, and we can look at the titans of industry, we can look at the Elon Musks and Richard Bransons and Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, but that does apply on an individual level. That studies have shown that most people will purchase a service or a product from someone that they actually know. So when we look at an evolving marketplace and think about how we as practitioners can do more for our clients, well, that involves a level of trust. And in order to do that, we have to put ourselves out there. And for some of us, or for a lot of us, we're pretty uncomfortable with that. We don't like hearing our own voice. We don't like seeing ourselves. And many times I've seen these websites where you have these fake sort of people on the website, and it's this plasticky sort of look. But we have to change that approach. We need to be authentic in who we are, what we're about, and be able to connect on that sort of emotional and intellectual level with our clients. So we'll talk a little bit about social media. We'll talk a little bit about updating our value propositions as well, because part of what we find is many times we're just billing someone on a flat rate or an hourly rate. And can we, as practitioners, create some intelligent propositions in such that we update the websites, we're able to say, look, we have these different modules at these different price points, and package things in an intelligent way that attract better clients, more fees, more interesting work, and get a little bit away from just the rote, regular compliance work that we're accustomed to. So we'll cover that in part of the session. And then lastly, we'll also talk a little bit about the office setup and the tips. I mean, over the past 2 years, we found that we are working from home. And if we are working from home, we better have the right setup. We don't want our kitchen cabinets behind us. We don't want all this distraction that takes away from us. We want the right lighting. We want the right sound. We want the right visual. So I'll cover in this session also some of the tools that I use to help create a more professional environment and wow clients as you sit before them virtually for the first time. Right. What's good to do in Vegas? I think if you've gotten sick of the strip and the casinos and the noise and you want a little bit of nature, two things I would recommend for those of you who have a rental car or the ability to get around beyond just walking and Uber. Hoover Dam's a great suggestion. If you like that, the overall engineering marvel that it is pretty jaw-dropping when you're there in person. And if you like nature from even not the engineering sort of look to it, Red Rocks west of Vegas is about 15-mile, 20-mile drive, and there's a loop road that goes all the way through, and there's just absolute scenic beauty as well. So bring water, it'll be hot, but you can clearly see some tremendous sights, and I think it's elevated enough that you get some terrific long views of the entire Vegas landscape.